Fingering 103. Today I'm going to talk about finding the best place to shift. Sometimes we have several options and then we want to find the place where the shift is least disruptive. There are also differences, of course, between shifts that we want to bring out as expressive tools and shifts that are should be hidden because they're basically for utility. So I'm going to throw 3 ideas at you how to identify the best place to change positions. The first one is the semitone. We can find semitones to move around and extend that frame of a fourth into a frame of a fifth. The second one is rhythmical, finding the place in the music where we have more time, and rather than shift between fast notes, we want to shift where there is more space between the notes. And finally, using an open string. So you see that these 3 ideas have something in common. It's about finding the smallest space, the biggest space where we have the most time to change position. First example I'll give you is for shifting on semitones, Mozart Sinfonia Concertante. You see here I'm extending the fourth. I'm extending that fourth into a diminished fifth frame for my hand so that I can play the music in a more coherent way, organizing it on the strings, on the D and then G and C, rather than something like that. Of course, that's fingerings for the E flat major version, not the original D major scordatura. Another example for semitone shifts would be the slow movement of Brahms' F minor sonata, and again I use that to be able to color the first sequence on the A string and the second one on the D string. See, I use a lot of semitone movement there. The example I'll give you for shifting where there is more space rhythmically is, I think that one is pretty clear, but just to illustrate, and that also uses a halftone shift, opening of the Arpeggione Sonata. I've played many times this fingering. You see, those are quite big shifts from first to third position, but I could play this. Here I have lots of time and a small shift to second position. You see, using the space where there is more time between the A and the B, and also making a smaller shift. Finally, shifting over open strings. It's a little bit controversial. I remember my lessons with Michael Tree, the giant violist of the Guarneri Quartet. He really despised shifting over open strings, but I find them quite useful, particularly in fast passages, particularly in Mozart or Hofmeister or Stamitz. And here's a good example from Hofmeister. We have our favorite using that open strings frees our hand to make that shift in a slower way. Of course, doing that in melodies maybe would be less tasteful, but particularly in fast passages, that's quite useful. As usual, send me your comments and your thoughts, and I'll see you tomorrow.